So this is taken on the same morning as the thunderstorm in Kotor. Myself and Alex were woken up by Tony, and we couldn't get back to sleep. So before breakfast, we decided to take a little walk around the ship. So this is deck one. The only thing you'll really find on deck one of the Oosterdam is the future cruise area. And the little atrium, which is small compared to the atrium on other sort of larger ships, and the guest services as well. So the atrium has this slowly revolving globe that you can see, but yeah, this is the center of the ship, I suppose. As you go around, you see the guest services area, which is open 24 hours a day. There's even someone there at 5:30 in the morning. And you may also spot that there's a machine for printing off your bill as you go along the cruise. We walked to the front of the ship, past all the cabins, and we came to the main stage, which is the name of the theatre. We decided to walk around the back of the stage, and we spotted our brightly decorated carved elephant. We'd been on the Oosterdam 2 years previously and had discovered this, and it's still there. As we walked around the outside of the stage, we discovered it would take us around into the actual theatre itself. So the theatre itself had, you could access it from 3 different floors, and we went here probably half of the evenings. It was quite sort of conservative entertainment. We had a magician who wasn't that great. We had some production shows which were pretty good, and then some specific sort of acrobatic things which I didn't particularly go to. But here we are, just going up the steps to the top of the theatre, and that would take you out, I believe, down to sort of deck 3 at this stage, and we move on. We move out of the theatre area and along to where the casino is, but we weren't interested in the casino. We were here for the Billboard Bar, which is where we did our quiz each day. It's also where the dueling pianos are, which Lydia and me enjoyed a couple of evenings as well. So here's Alex sort of sitting down on the seat we usually sit when we come to be runners-up in the quiz each day.
Alex. Get a sneak peek in there.
So moving along, we come to the area where the BB King Club and the America Test Kitchen takes place, which is pretty much central to the ship. And walking on through from there, we will be walking towards the middle elevators, where you'll see the weather forecast for 23 degrees, and you'll also see that we are in Kotor, and it's the morning of the 26th of August. Moving on through the ship, we'll walk right to the atrium where we were right at the beginning. So at this time we're right next to the globe. And moving towards the back of the ship. Moving towards the back of the ship, we went through the art gallery before coming to the Lincoln stage. The Lincoln stage is the area where the sort of classical musicians perform. Usually in the early evening, a lot of people come here to watch the musicians enjoy the show before going in for dinner. You can see here that I've got the GoPro on a selfie stick, which is definitely not the way to go because the footage is really jumpy, so I'll have to learn from that for next time. But right at the back here we have got the main dining room, which is where we went for dinner each night. We got the lift up to deck 3 because we were feeling lazy, and we came out opposite just in front of the dining room, and we walked along the photo gallery with all the photos pretty much put away by now at this time of the morning. So this is the path we usually walked because we were on deck 3 for our dinner in the evening. And you'll see that this is also where they had a GoPro 5 set up. my little GoPro 3 here is attracted to the GoPro 5 stand. And we actually bought a GoPro 5 not on the ship but shortly afterwards, and I'm hoping that on the next cruise it'll be a little bit more stable and the microphones will be a bit better than this GoPro 3. So this takes us on out to the centre of the ship. On deck 3, moving towards the back of the, or to the front of the ship I should say, we had the series of shops that were on board, and you can see obviously they're all shut at this time of the morning, but they were pretty much your usual range of sort of high-end sort of boutique shop, some jewellery shops, there's also like an Oosterdam or HAL sort of merchandise shop as well. And just a few more jewellery shops towards the front. Sort of moving right towards the stage again, we passed a number of card rooms and sort of those little meeting rooms you get, I guess, that are used by groups who book cruises to sort of meet up. At the front of the ship, we're on deck 3 here. We got the lift up to, well, it's meant to be deck 10, but I hit 9 by mistake because we were so used to hitting 9 because that's where the Lido buffet is. But Alex, being Alex, he decided that he would get out at 9 and race me all the way up to deck 10, knowing rightly that he would get there before me anyway. So the other decks were all pretty much the same. They were all full of rooms, so there's nothing to see. So deck 10 was probably one of our favourite areas on the ship. So when we get up to deck 10, you'll see that it's where the crow's nest is located, shore excursions. It's also where you had the steps that took you up to the retreat cabanas that we were on earlier on in the cruise. But coming through into the crow's nest, you can see that it's very quiet this time of night, but had great views out over the Kotor Bay.
In the entire ship.
The other reason that deck 10 was our favourite was because on the other side of the ship you had the Club HAL, which is the kids club, which the kids went to every day.
What you can do is sit down. Oh, so they give you some details about the ship. Of course I'm left-handed. All the best people are left-handed.
So in the crow's nest, there was a few very sort of interactive new features since the last time we were here. One of those was a couple of screens which showed you all of the navigation details of the ship. So that was good for anyone who's very into all things nautical. And then sort of moving around the other part of the crow's nest, they didn't have a library as such. They seem to have done away with the library. There's only like a few reference books in one corner, but they did have these sort of interactive smart screens where you could find out more information about the ports of call that you were going to. As well as that, you also had little tissues to clean all your fingerprints off of them. Moving on round, you also would find the shore excursion section up here as well, where you could book all of your tours and get that sorted. Okay, so that basically took us to the end of our little tour, because we got the lift back down to the Lido deck and went and had our breakfast, but we will show you the breakfast buffet in a minute.
Of insomniacs. Okay, so what we got?
So we've made it to the buffet on the Lido. It's probably about 6 o'clock in the morning at this point. I guess you could say the Lido had 3 big main areas. The first of these was the kids' favourite. Not only did this section have some pre-made sort of muffin sandwiches and some little sort of gluten-free pastries, it's also where the crepe station and the waffle station was located, but sadly for Alex it wasn't ready just at this point in time. But on a more healthy note, it's also where the watermelon and melons were as well. As we move through to the sort of second section, That's where basically you had all of the cereals, milks, and all the fruit juices. And I guess it was also where you had the sort of granola, sort of muesli yogurt as well, which I quite enjoyed. The third section is the main one you associate with the buffet. It's got all the hot food items, bacon, eggs, etc. It's also where it's got the full range of pastry, muffins as well. At the back you had this little section which is almost like a breakfast express, if you like, for people who just wanted a continental breakfast. They could just grab this and go. And then the other side of the buffet was shut, which is probably why the other side was so busy at this point. But yeah, we went and had our breakfast and set off